Hey everyone, it's time for my post-lottery 2025 NHL mock draft. I'm going to do it quickly, but I want to give a massive shout out to Riley and Skylar, just to go on the main camera here. Riley and Skylar were amazing to host the live stream and do their reaction and post-lottery mock. They did top 10, so go check that out. The live stream's on the YouTube channel. Also, big shout out to DYOJ. Awesome hot take hockey jersey, as you guys can see. Obviously, the Islanders jersey, they win the draft lottery. We're going to talk about that in a second. I was also not able to stream for the draft lottery because I was at game 1 of the Leafs Panthers round 2. But as you guys can see here, code Viveiros 10. I'm going to drop the link in the description, guys. I have such an appreciation for a company that's able to see a channel like Hot Take Hockey. And to all the new subscribers that are joining the channel, I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate the support from these guys. I'm going to drop their link in the description. If you use code Viveiros 10, you can get 10% off. I mean, I might get another jersey. Like, these are pretty electric. And I might use like the different logos. Like, you got the Hot Take Hockey podcast logo here. You got the main logo here. It's pretty electric. But yeah, guys, shout out. Cool jerseys. If you guys have any suggestions, DIYOJ. Big shout out. Let's go through my post-lottery mock draft here, guys. I'm going to have some hot takes. It's Hot Take Hockey after all, so get your predictions down below. But this is kind of crazy. I'm going to start hot. The Islanders, they get the shocker, and they are able to draft first overall. Everyone's saying Schaefer. Well, if they trade Dobson, I could see it maybe. Again, Dobson's right shot, Schaefer left shot. There's a few factors here. They also have Pelech on the left side, Romanoff. They also have like guys coming. I feel like they also need offense. I'm going to go Long Island native, James HAGENS first overall. I know it's going to cause a stir because he's already dropping in the boards. But you know what? You rewind like 6 months ago and he was... Let's just call it how it is. He was the guy. He was the first overall pick. I know it's been the Schaefer and Misa conversation, but HAGENS is no bum in this top 5. Like, he is going to be, I think, an elite center or an elite, like, he could play both. And I think the Islanders need that help in the offense with Barzal, with Horvat. So the Islanders are going to try to, I think, change the look in their offense. You have a Long Island native who was a projected first overall pick months ago. And yeah, you know what? Schaefer and Misa have jumped, but Schaefer was also injured for most of the year. There's like articles, go look it up. HAGENS had so much impact growing up. Islanders, like, it's just there. Islanders fans, could you feel it? Could you feel the Long Island native? And I'll give you this. I don't want to put Islanders fans through a rough time, but just think about it. Rewind. 2009, you drafted a Canadian, first overall, and all that trauma of him leaving, all that stuff. John Tavares. If you draft James HAGENS, I can guarantee you he's a career Islander. Versus if you draft one of the Canadians and Schaefer, Misa, you never know. Draft the guy you know will be a career Islander and also going to be an elite top-line talent. I say they go James HAGENS. I think that's the right pick to go. And that could benefit also the next teams up. I think San Jose, if that does happen, they would go Matthew Schaefer. So it's a bit of a hot take, but I'm going to go defenseman Matthew Schaefer. So we'll do brackets forward HAGENS, D-man, Schaefer. So San Jose gets their top left shot future defenseman. And for the Chicago Blackhawks, I think they get Michael Misa. Friends with Nick Lardis. I think a 1-2 punch of Bedard and Misa would go crazy. I think that's a great shout here. There you go. All right, and next up, Utah. I'm going to go Utah, and I mean, I have my notes here. I think they can go in a couple different directions here, but I'm going to go Utah goes Anton Frundell. I think a lot of people have kind of had their eyes on Anton Frundell in terms of his improvement. He is probably the most, I would say, I don't know if mature is the right word, but he has experience kind of similar to HAGENS. He has experience in terms of center and wing. I didn't see him a lot this year. I watched a few packs of him, and I think the other option, if they want a guy that can play center, would be Drake O'Brien here, but I don't know if that's too much of a reach. So I'll go Anton Frundell, And then for my next pick for the Nashville Predators, this one's really interesting, but I think they try to go the center option here. And I think they go Caleb Dionne, but there's been rumors that the Flyers pick him up. I'm going to go the Preds go Caleb Dionne. He's had a great year. I think if they want to go for the number one center or the chance to go for a safe bet of a two-way top center, Dionne could be the pick. But I think they're really hoping that they have one of those guys fall to them, whether it's HAGENS or Misa. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'll go Nashville gets Dionne. And then I'll go... Yeah, I think the Flyers go Jake O'Brien. So, seeing the Flyers scout him this year so much, I think O'Brien... And see how, of course, Porter Martone for me falls to the Boston Bruins. That's probably my hot take of the draft. I don't think he probably falls that much. But I think the Bruins getting Porter Martone would just be disgusting. It'd be ridiculous. It would be not fair. I think Nashville wants to go for the center, so I think they go Dionne or O'Brien. I think the Flyers could go Martone as well, but I think Martone goes top 7. I think that's his... People are going to get at me. Maybe that's a bit of a hot take, but I think O'Brien and Martone for me are a little bit more head-to-head there. And who knows? I mean, I think they're going to have a lot of eyes on them this season. And I think going to the Seattle Kraken, I've seen this a lot. I think they've drafted Beniers. They've drafted Wright. I think they go defenseman. I'm going to go Jackson Smith. I've seen that a lot. I think I had that in one of my mocks, so I'm going to stick with that. And I think they pick Jackson Smith. So we are... Sorry, let's do this. There we go. There we go. So Islanders get James HAGENS. San Jose gets Matthew Schaefer. Chicago gets Michael Misa. Utah gets Anton Frendel. Nashville gets Caleb Dionne. Philly gets Jake O'Brien. And then we'll do a space there so it's a little bit more distinctive. The only one that I'm thinking is, I don't know. I think Utah could go Porter Martone there. It's tough, right? Like it ends up being a little bit of a domino effect what happens there. But I think Porter Martone's going to be up there. I think Philly might take him if he falls, but it depends if they want to go center or wing. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. I think Buffalo would love to have a Jake O'Brien fall to them. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think, based on my notes, I had Buffalo looking at Victor Eklund. So if that's the case, I think it might happen. I think they'd love a style player of Kashawn Aitchison, but the fact that he's a left shot defenseman, I don't think they're going to go for him. I think they want a right shot guy. So based on that, I'm going to go Victor Eklund to the Buffalo Sabres. They don't need younger forwards anymore. They really don't. But I think the skill set, it's another great asset. So I'm going to go Victor Eklund to the Buffalo Sabres. And then my other note here was I was looking at, back on my past mock draft, looking at the Anaheim Ducks and just kind of like what that management wants. And I don't know. I think this guy also screams a Philadelphia Flyer or Boston Bruin if they wanted to take him. But Brady Martin from the Sioux Greyhounds, a bit of an edge to his game. I think he would be also a perfect fit for what the Anaheim Ducks are trying to accomplish. So I'm going to go Brady Martin to the Anaheim Ducks. And then I think this would be a pretty big steal, potentially, but I'm going to go the Pittsburgh Penguins get Kashawn Aitchison. A lot of people have him like outside of the top 15 or outside of the top 20, but I think he's a bit of a unicorn in this draft. Like, he's got the size, but he's got the offensive ability. He's got the physicality. So I'm going to go Kashawn Aitchison. I think I had him in my last mock draft going to Pittsburgh. I think a lot of Penguins fans were hoping that he was going to jump. But watching him play for the Barrie Colts this year, like, he's a different type of unicorn. Like, he's ridiculous. And then I think the one guy I was missing in my top 10 rankings from before, I had Roger McQueen up there, But from a lot of mocks that I've seen, he's kind of fallen a little bit. So I wasn't going to do a full mock draft. I wanted to do the top 15 because I wanted to do more scouting. So as you guys can see here, I'm a little bit short. So I'll stop at 15 is the Canucks. I'll probably stop at the Blue Jackets. I mean, the Canucks, I feel like they're going to be interesting with their pick. And the Montreal is back-to-back because they have the Calgary picks. So I'll maybe give a suggestion on what Montreal might do back-to-back and then Vancouver. But beyond that, I'll just leave it. There's another guy that I had high, which was Cameron Reed. So I'll probably go... Again, this is kind of on the fly because I haven't really had time to think about this fresh off the lottery. But I'll probably go Carter Bear to the New York Rangers. Can play center, play wing. I think he plays for Everett in the dub. So I'll go Carter Bear. I remember he was like really disgusting when I was watching him. Then for the Detroit Red Wings, I mean, they have already Sider on the right side. So maybe they go for a left shot defenseman. And that would probably be Cameron Reed maybe. So I'll go Cameron Reed goes to the Red Wings at number 13. Did I skip a team? I don't think so. Yeah, I had Seattle going. Okay. So, yeah, right now, chat, I got Seattle picking Jackson Smith, so left shot defenseman. If he falls, I think Detroit could pick him, but I'll take Detroit picking Cameron Reed. It'd be fun if the Rangers picked Cameron Reed because he played for the Kitchener Rangers, so going to the New York Rangers would be kind of funny. Columbus, I wonder with Columbus. I wonder if they go defensive prospect too because they have a lot of young forwards. Murka would be interesting. Yeah, I'll go Murka here to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I feel like the Blue Jackets always go for an interesting pick. He looked really good for the Seattle Thunderbirds, so let's see. Probably the hardest name to spell. So I'm glad I made some notes here. And my last pick here, and then I'll just give suggestions for the Montreal Canadiens. I'll probably go a little bit off the board for the Canucks. And this might shock people, but I think they probably got a good look at him. So we'll see. But I wonder if the Canucks try to go for a goalie here. Maybe Chad thinks that's crazy, but I think with the issues and conversations around Demko, we'll see. So I think Ravensburg is going to go first round. Yeah, I'm going to go Ravensburgen. Sorry, what did I say? I said Ravensburg. Ravensburgen. I'm going to go Josh Ravensburgen here. That's how you know I'm tired. Because I've scouted Ravensburgen way more. All right. All right, let's leave it at that. Vancouver gets Josh Ravensburgen. Okay. Let's just give suggestions for the 2 Montreal picks in Calgary. 2 Montreal picks. I forget what I had in my past mock draft, but they go split forward and defenseman. So I like Jack Nesbitt a lot. I think he goes probably in that range, somewhere from like 16 to 25. So I'll go Nesbitt maybe to Montreal. Or Malcolm Spence would be a good pick for Montreal. I think he's fallen in some mock drafts. So I'll go Malcolm Spence or Nesbitt. And then maybe a little off the board, but Simon Wang. I'm interested to see where Simon Wang goes in this draft. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's still in the OHL playoffs with the Oshawa Generals. I think he has a lot of developing to do, but with that size, and he does have some puck movement skills, so I think with this frame, keep an eye on Simon Wang. I'll just give that shout. But I think between the 2 Montreal picks and Vancouver honestly might go Malcolm Spence as well, but I'll just add other guys that I'm looking out for. And that being Let's just add it here quickly. Spence, Nesbitt, and who's the other guy I was adding? Wang. So keep an eye on those guys. Again, I'm exhausted, guys. I probably shouldn't have done this late, but I'll do more of like a mock draft closer to the draft. So in a month from now, I will do my official full top 32 NHL mock draft with the lottery results. So I just wanted to do it fresh, just kind of give an idea of the top picks. But I think my top 3 for the draft, I think, is easily going to be Schaefer, Misa, Hagens in some kind of order there. I know Martone, people have had him up there, but I just think... I think Hagens goes up there. I think his ability to play both center and wing. I think the Chicago Blackhawks, while still a lot of people... And here's the thing. Like, I think when you look at the Blackhawks, and specifically their lineup and their future lineup, I think they really want to build, like, a balanced attack. And Martone could be a really good line mate to Bedard. And Frank Nazar could be the second part of that 1-2 punch to Bedard. But I think having a guy like Misa in there as well... you could have the option of putting Misa on the wing or Frank Nazar on the wing. And I think that's a really cool option. Or you have the craziest 1-2-3 punch in the league, and that's as good as that. So Ravensburgen is probably the goalie that's going to go in the first round, or at least the first goalie to go in the first round. Beyond that, we'll see. Thank you so much, guys. Hit that subscribe button, like, notification bell. Sorry for some of the stumbling and the messed up words. Like I said, I'm exhausted. It's past 1 a.m., and I got no sleep last night. So Leafs win. That was the most exciting part of the night, and I'll see you guys all soon. Peace.